Right, okay, this is just a quick video if I can. I'll try and get it as short as possible. Quick video about the Mark II and Mark III weapon mountable rangefinder. First of all, I'll go through all the different ways you can set it up on your scope, or you can actually attach it to your rifle. Then after that, I'll go through how to zero it to your scope, and the different variations of way you can zero. The problem is, unless you have a night vision unless you have a night vision device, then it's quite, to the normal eye, it seems quite hard to zero it. But you can do it, but I'll go into that later. Right, first of all, there was the Mark I, slightly bigger than this Rangefinder here. It's very similar to the way it works. Obviously the Mark II was a big improvement. The range, the build quality, a lot smaller as well. That was a very good feature. And the only difference I think they should have kept was that the iron sight, I think, was on the Mark I was far superior than this one. But it still works fine, up to about 250 meters, not a problem. Right, so I'll go on to now why I said the Mark II, because we had problems with the Mark I and the Mark II not being able to take high recoil. Now, the only way forward from this was obviously we had to recoil proof it, shot proof it a lot better. Everyone I tested, I had tested with a friend. I don't have 7.62, but he has. They didn't work afterwards, after repetitive firing. It caused problems, and so I decided to go down the line of making a Mark III version that can take 7.62, which is basically a 308 in civilian terms. So now the new Mark III is going to be on our website, Custom Rifle Scopes UK, and on our eBay site, which is crs.uk. Now, I'll go through the three different options here of mounting it first, and then we'll discuss a little bit more about how to zero it. Right, the first and the most basic one is what it originally comes with, which is just a normal mount. Obviously I've taken the screws out just to speed up the process a little bit. It comes with a normal mount, so you could obviously mount it to a rifle scope that has Weaver Picatinny rails already fitted, or to a rifle that's got that done. You'd find it quite difficult to zero it that way. Not only that, if you haven't got a night vision, you won't be able to see the laser ping, because laser ping can be picked up by night vision. Obviously you haven't got that, you won't be able to work out whereabouts to aim unless you use the iron sight. So the most basic obviously is this setup with the iron sight. You can use this basically if you wanted to mount it to a scope. This is my one of my builds. This is the DL Ranger. You could mount it onto Picatinny rail on top, and then you would have to aim off, because obviously they're not always going to be perfectly aligned. You would aim off using the iron sight. Not a bad idea, good to about 250 yards, 250 metres roughly, around about there. But a lot of people want to range a little bit further. They are very accurate at long range compared to normal rangefinders, because you're only limited to the magnification of your rifle scope. Now, that's one version. We then go on to my favourite, which is side mounting. So you would obviously attach, I'll just do this as quick as I possibly can, obviously attach the bracket that I machined. These are all made out of a better steel for strength. They are quite light, and they fit perfectly. A weaver rail is then mounted to the side of this bracket as well. Now, one of the types of mounts, so let's see if I'm a bit fiddly. I do like to do this myself before I send them off, unless you have a special request, because if you're going to be putting it on a high powered rifle, then unless you Loctite these down, they can move slightly and put you out of line, so you don't want that happening, or you get misreadings. Okay, so done that up tight. So say like for instance on the Drone Pro or the X-Sight, you're going to have a side rail. If you didn't want to buy the adjustable mount, then you can go for these, which are on Custom Rifle Scopes UK website as well. They're specially been made. I had a factory do them for me, so you can mount them onto your X-Sight or Drone Pro or Yukon Photon, and then bolt them so it's directly bolted to the side, a lot closer to the scope crosshairs, just over 1.5 inches away. So that's one good idea. So that's the small weaver mounts setup. You can then go for this setup, which is the adjustable mount setup. On this particular one, because this one's got them, I can't fit it, but on your normal scope you would have room to be able to undo this, clamp it round. If you've got this comes with it as well, which is your sizer, so you can do 25mm scope tube or 30mm scope tube, whichever one you've got, it's not a problem. Clamp it round, and obviously this clamps to the side of there, yeah, like so, and then you obviously do it up, so you've got your windage and elevation there, so you can move and zero it to your crosshair, so that will be set up there. That's my favourite, it's the best one out of the lot. Top mounted, some people go with the top mounted version. You have to set it up carefully, because the side mount, very difficult to explain, but the side mount is always better because of the way the letterbox laser sits, and it's easier to lose zero top mounted than it is side mounted. Right, so that's one side mounted version. Then we have top mount, so this would obviously come with a top mounted version as well. You would obviously bolt that upside down. You'd have your double weaver rail mounted onto there. This wouldn't come with it. You would then use the box standard mount fitted to the bottom, and you'd mount it that way. So that's also good, not a problem. So they're the three different versions that I'll be selling for the mounting system. On eBay it's very easy because I've categorized it, so you can either buy these on their own, the two Mark 1 and the Mark 2 and the Mark 3, or you can buy a mount that goes with it and have different setups, however you think it's going to feel, going to suit your needs. What I'll do now is just to quickly explain. With the Mark II and the Mark III, it would be very difficult because of the same unit. The Mark III is just modified. The only way I thought would be best to do it, so that just in case these ever get resold, you don't want someone reselling a Mark II pretending it's a Mark III. So each one of these is going to come with a serial number. Whether or not it's going to be stamped or come as letter form, I'll see how that goes. I might have them engraved so they can't be played around with, because you don't really want to buy a rangefinder that says it's rated up to 7.62, but it's not. It's the Mark II version, which is 5.56, and they won't last very long. So what I'll do now is quickly explain. Let's move this out of the way. Let's quickly explain how you would zero your rangefinder in the daytime. This is mostly for people who haven't got night vision. I thought I would make a little diagram. It'll be easier to explain in the diagram. Have a rather large garden or a nice field, whichever range you're zeroing, that's where the pitchfork's going to be. Stab your pitchfork in the ground. Make sure the backdrop is another 50 or 100 meters away, or yards, whichever way you're working, because this does meters or yards. Have it stuck in the ground. Make sure it's nice and straight. Then get into a nice prone position. If you've got a brace, or if you've got a table and chair, it'd be even better. Set yourself up at your 0 meters away. Let's say, for instance, this one we're going to set this up for 100 meters to the pitchfork. You'll then aim, and what you're trying to get is the laser ping hitting the pitchfork. Now, you're not going to know until you get the readings off your rangefinder. So what you're going to do is you're going to aim left, and you're going to aim right, and you're going to keep the laser ping firing until you get 100 meters or yards. Your backdrops, let's say that's 200 yards away. Say if it's reading 200 yards, you keep moving until you get your laser ping saying that you're 100 yards. Then you know how off you are. So then you would use your adjustable mount and adjust it accordingly to bring your windage screw over so that you're getting a laser ping hitting the fork. Always double check, make sure you're not getting 100 meter or yard reading when you're on the left hand side or the right hand side, and then aim back at it again and then make sure you are. Now that obviously does your windage line, so you're going to need to do your elevation line, so you're obviously on your crosshair. The only way you're going to do that is to either stick your pitchfork in a tree or use some other a pole or something you can stick in a latitudinal way, so it's side on, and then obviously you're going to aim as usual, and then you're going to do the same as what you were going to do, but up and down for your elevation. So you take an aim and fire your laser above, below, and find out whereabouts you're hitting, and it's reading 100 yards. If it's obviously reading 200, then adjust until your your elevation line is getting the 100 yard or 100 meter ping, and then obviously double check up and down. If you're getting 200 up and down, and then when you're dead on, and then you're getting your 100, then you know you're spot on. And then obviously if you want to go back and double check, put the pitchfork back in the ground, so it's vertical, straight down, and then test again. So then you know you are spot on. Another way then is to then aim at the head after that, and then aim through the gap in the hole, and just to see if you are. Sometimes the laser, because it's a letterbox shape, might hit each side. It is best to try and find something like you can hang in there, like a football or something, and do it off that and go around it, just to make sure you're on. So that's how you can do it in the daytime, or if you haven't got night vision so you can't see the ping, you can do that up to, well, obviously 700 meters, which is rated for. I don't know any other rangefinder handheld that you can do that with, unless it's a military. Yet again, I said before, if you want a quick setup, you can always use the iron sight. It's not a problem. They are quite accurate, up to about 250 yards. Whether or not, I mean, obviously if you're going to be aiming at larger things, it's quite easy. We've been using iron sights since rifles have ever been made, and they've been very accurate on long ranges. So I don't care what anyone says, an iron sight is still quite accurate. So that's basically it. Thank you for watching. I hope this has helped you out. I hope it's allowed you to understand how each setup is done. Obviously you have your side, your top, and you can have obviously the Picatinny Weaver attachment that you can do if you've got an X-Sight or a Yukon Photon, so you can bolt it straight to the side if you don't want to use that, or bolt it straight to your rifle. Depends on how much money you want to spend, basically. But like I said before, it's uprated now for the new ones. I'm still selling the Mark II as well, depending on your budget. I think there's only about a £10 difference, so it would be worth getting the uprated one if you're going to put it on a 308. Or you're concerned that you might drop it, they're a lot more stronger. So that's it basically. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting.